Okay, so this question is basically a fireplace. We have a nice sort of picture of a fireplace here, and we have our little graphic here. So what we're asked to do is we're asked to draw the fireplace. It is a series of bricks of different widths. So what I mean by that is some of them are full bricks, some of them are half. So it's different to what we're used to in that all grids aren't going to be the same size. Now apologies, a bit of autofocus going on there, in case you're wondering why is it going blurred. But basically, if we look at it carefully, and hopefully you can see there, the height of the blocks or bricks are all 15. Some of them are 50 wide and some of them are 25. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a light grid and we're going to leave it 25 first. But the first thing we're going to do anyways is basically we're going to draw this without the mantelpiece, so without the top bit, and then we'll work. So we know that this is 250 long and we know it's 135 high. So just in case they're a little bit difficult to see, I'll have the graphic anyways up on your notes with the assignment. But there might just be a little bit difficult to see there if your eyesight isn't brilliant. But basically it's 250 long. So if we look here, our set square is 230, right? Pretty much. So we could do it a little bit longer. But our height, there's loads of space. So I'm going to come up maybe about 50, and I'm going to draw a light line across here. Now I need to leave in a little bit of space so that I have space for the overhang. So I'm going to come in about 20, and I'm going to put a start point there. Okay, so I come up about 50 from the line here. I don't know if that can be seen, just tilt this a small bit. So I'm up about 50 from there. Oops. And I come in. Sorry, my focus is sort of gone there. Okay, that's better. And I come in 20 here, and I put that starting point, and that's this point here, if you want to call it 8. Okay, so I'm going to measure over 250. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a set square long enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 0 here, and I'm literally going to go to 20, and then I'm going to go to 50 mil more. Okay, so 20 centimeters, and then 5 centimeters, or 200 millimeters, and then 5 centimeters. And this is 135. So on my set square, I'm looking for 13 and a half. Okay, so I'll bring this up here, 13.5, and put a little dot like that. I'll bring this line across. And these, because I'm drawing them in pink here, these are all light to start off with. Although technically I could heavy that in dark now. Now what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to draw the space for the fire, basically where the fire would be. Okay, and that may sometimes make it easier. So 25 and 25 and 25. Okay, again I see my focus is gone there. Apologies about that. So 25 and 25 and 25 is 75. Okay, so if that goes, hopefully I'll cop it and it will come back, because it's just doesn't seem that this visualizer is as good as the one in school. So what we'll do is, that's fine. We'll now go up. How many blocks have we? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's basically 6 blocks. So that's 90. Okay, 15 by 9 is 90. And I would usually start off by doing this just to give me an idea of what we're drawing. Okay, so you can see here I'm going to have my space for a fire, I'm going to have my bricks around here, and I'm going to have my mantelpiece on top. So I'm going to do all the bricks first. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. And if we've done this, it's important that this and this line up. Okay, so it should be 90, but just to make 100% sure, I'm going to bring that across. Then I have 105, and then I have 120. Okay, so we have all our heights for our various bricks there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in 25, I'm going to come in 50, and I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to go 25 and I'm going to do 50. And what I'm going to do first, I'm going to draw these lightly across, but I'm not going to draw them in the rectangle that I left for the fireplace. And the reason for that, the reason I drew that sort of space there for first, is just to keep it a little bit neat. If I do these light, it's not the end of the world, but it just makes it a little bit neater than it would have been. Okay, and we'll bring this one across level with this and continue it on, and then these ones can go the full way across. Now again, there's two ways of doing this. You could draw a line up and then heavy it in, or you could just be careful. So I'm going to look at this one here. This is the second mark in, so at the 50 mil mark in. So it's not this mark, it's this mark, and then it's every second one. So I'm going to go there, there. I'm not going to move my set square, but I am going to go right at every second one. Okay, and this one here is the opposite, so it's not on this line, it's on the second line, fourth line, sixth line, and the 8th line. Okay, so you can see my pattern that's sort of starting to appear. So we'll repeat it again here, just to get you used to it. So again, if we look at this one here, this is on my first dot. We'll do the first one, the third one, the fifth one, the seventh one, and the ninth one. And this one here I'll do the opposite. Okay, now again I have done these light, so if I make a mistake I can come back and fix it. Okay, so I have my fireplace in the main done, right? But I forgot the blocks in the middle. So we know 25 and 25 is a full block. Okay, so from here we're going to come across 50, 100, and then that lines up with 150. And again what I can do is if I do this one, I'm going to have to skip a row, and then I'm going to have another one, skip a row, and then I have another one. So you can see now most of it's coming together. And I'll go to this one here, and I'll go to 50, and 100, and 150, and if I'm accurate this should end up on 200, which it does. And I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so the last thing then that I want to do is I want to put in the mantelpiece, or basically the piece of timber that's going to sit above it. So I know that it's 10 mil higher, and I know that it's 10 mil wider. So what I'll do is I'll extend on this line another 10 millimeters. I'll do the same on this side, that's why I made sure I came in 20 at the start. Okay, I'll bring this up 10 millimeters, so between 12 and 13 is the same as between 0 and 1. I'll do the same here. And we'll bring this across to it. So I think I'm quite happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is basically I'm going to heavy it in. Okay, so what I'm going to do in order to heavy it in to make myself quicker is the easiest way is to do all horizontal lines first. Now I might come down from the top just because my marker is a little bit inky. Okay, so I wouldn't be using markers in your case, but it just makes it a bit easier to see for the visualizer. In fairness, this black looks like it's getting wasted a little bit, but it'll be fine for today's lesson. So we'll bring those across, and again I'm carefully not heavying a line through where the fire is, because what we're going to do today is we're going to just basically make our own little sketch as to what the fire might look like. Okay, so we're already getting close to the bottom and we're at the bottom. So doing all horizontal lines in one go makes it quicker. Same here, if we do all vertical lines in one go, it makes it quicker than continuously moving around the set. So one of the things that we want to improve is our speed. So how quick we get this question done. Obviously the quicker we get it done, the more time we'll have for shading, but also the more time we'll have in an exam. However, it is not a race. There is one or two students that are the quickest in the class, but often they make mistakes and they also rush their shading. So you should be improving your speed, but at the same time you should be improving your accuracy, neatness, and getting it correct at the same time. It's not, there is no marks. They don't time it and say what time did you finish in, and we'll give more marks for that. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. So I think I've everything heavied in there. It's up to yourself. You can decide to heavy this line or not. It probably will just heavy this line. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take our pencil and we're going to sketch in a fire. Okay, so if you have a HB pencil, all the better. 2H is a little bit hard for sketching, but I'm just drawing some sort of look like a fire. And I saw you will draw in a grate if they want. Some people might even draw in a box around it, like you might have for, if depending on what type of fire you have at home, if it's sort of a stove. But a fire on its own is sufficient. Some people will add more detail or not. And we'll just take maybe an orange and a red, and we'll shade that in. So we have a set of colour pencils as well in our set. So what we should do then is shade in the blocks. So you can decide yourself whether you want them to be a brown block, or sometimes they come in a yellowish colour, okay, or an orangish colour. To me they look sort of like this orange that I have, but I don't have exactly the same set of colours as you have. Okay, I don't know if I have a yellow colour pencil. I wouldn't have as big a set here as you would have at home. So we'll leave it at that for a second. We'll take our orange colour here and we'll shade our bricks. So again, I'm using the pencil on its edge. Okay, like so, getting the full length of that surface against it. Okay. And again, I'm not going too heavy. I just want to add a little bit of colour to my drawing, just to improve its appearance, while at the same time I'm not going so heavy that I'm going to take away the look of it, and also not going so heavy that it's going to take me an awful long time to get it done. So you can see these sort of a lightish brick as well. So a light orange might be fine. You might have a brown, might work as well. Okay, and again, if you have a brown or just heavy this little edge here. If you have a brown or a black or even an orange, yellowish color even, you could do the top here. So I forgot one small bit of heaviness. So sorry, with a little bit of tape on that. I forgot this little line here. It's important that you just look at the question, double check and see, compare it and say, are you happy with it? So overall I'm happy. As I said, I could do a small bit more shading up here, maybe a little bit of colour here. If you want, said you could draw in a grate there. Your name and date on the question, and that's today's lesson done.